Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is Martine and today I'm joined with my friend Sandrine.
Hi!
She's from Canada and we've done one collaborative blog post together before, but now she's actually visiting London, so
yeah, it's the perfect opportunity to meet and to do
so we thought we could do a video this time since we're in person. And for the video we thought we'd do something about books because we both love reading and
that's true.
Sandrine's so good at actually posting about books on her blog. I'm trying to get them myself, but I haven't been that good lately, but we thought we could talk about what books are memorable and that have meant a lot to us in our lives.
Yeah, and we have some questions that we're going to answer.
So let's just get on it.
I think you know the answer for me.
Yeah, I do.
Everything I Know About Love by Dolly Alderton. I talked about this on my blog before. It's like a memoir on her life, especially in her 20s, and she's so good. I don't know how to describe this more.
She absolutely loves her, and she really wanted to see her now that she was in London, but she's not here. She's doing this event in Wales, so.
Which is way too far.
Yeah.
But we're gonna meet her co-host of her podcast tonight.
Yeah.
So
that's
something to look out for.
So I actually bought the book because you recommended it to me.
And you have the one that's signed by her.
I found one that was signed in foils, and I was like, oh, this is the book that Sandrine told me about. I should buy it, but I haven't got to reading it yet because I'm reading another book right now. But soon.
You have to do this.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, what's yours?
My book is actually a book series, but it's His Dark Materials by Pullman. And I've written about this in my blog as well because I just recently reread it, and that just reminded me how much I loved it as a kid. And I liked it so much because the main person, Lyra Balakwa, that's like the character in the book, she was so similar to me when I was a kid. And I remember as a child, I was always a very loud kid, and I was one of those, like, I actually, as a kid, I didn't really like myself, which was so sad. So, reading that book, I related so much to Lyra because she's the same as me, so she's very loud, she was a bratty kid that no one really liked, but in the course of the book series, which is 3 books, she grew to be the most, wisest, strongest character.
Books are so good for, perceiving yourself and seeing how you interact with others. You can really relate to the characters, which I love.
So I really like the fact that I could read her books and kind of feel more comfortable about myself and know that even though I don't really like myself right now and maybe other people don't like me that much, I can still grow to be this good person that Lyra was. So that's a book that changed me.
Is it fantasy or?
Yeah, it is, but it's also based in England, which also made me really want to read England. Yeah, it's based in Oxford, which is kind of in a parallel universe because it's a fantasy universe. But when I read those books, I just really wanted to go to school in London.
They're so pretty.
So that's why we both kind of we really want to live here.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it the same for you?
Well, I actually read this book in my teenage years, but the one I'm going to mention for this question is definitely Harry Potter.
Yeah.
Because that was a book that just I just grew up with.
It's a classic.
Yeah, and I think it's the same for a lot of people.
I haven't read it. I need to start that. It's my goal this summer.
Yeah, she actually is not that into fantasy. We were talking about this before the video. But that's we were all different. And
but that's good. It's good to have different interests.
Yeah. I feel like as a kid, kind of everyone loves fantasy, but then I didn't grow out of it. I still really like fantasy, so.
Yeah.
But you're different. What was your favorite?
Mine was a French book called Le Journal de Laflamme, which means Orly Laflamme's diary. And it was about this girl who's in high school. She thinks she's super weird. Her dad died, and she sees herself as an alien to other people. And it's just, I love how she's funny. She always messes things up, and it's set up in my city, so it's nice to see the different places she goes to, and she has rituals that I have with some of my friends. I think it was just so nice, and everyone is reading it. It was everyone's idol.
Yeah, that's such a good idea. I also had a same kind of book series back home in my hometown in Northern Norway, Bodø, and that was a crime novels, and that was also books that kind of everyone read.
Yeah, it's nice when you can talk to people about books you've read, which is why I have to read Dolly's.
Yeah, that's true. That's the book of the now, when you're a young adult. While Harry Potter, all these kind of books were when you were a kid. And that's kind of also why I loved Harry Potter, because everyone was doing it, and that was why it was such a big part of my childhood, because me and my friends, we all read Harry Potter, we loved the films, and then we actually played Harry Potter at school, in the free, when you have free periods. And everyone else was making fun of us because this was at this age where other girls were doing makeup and getting into flirting with boys and stuff, maybe even drinking, and I was I was
How
not
old
there.
was-
Yeah, this was like when we were like maybe 12, 11,
12 for drinking.
I don't
that's
know.
Kind of
Maybe
young.
not drinking, but like
Yeah,
I know a few of them. I've talked to them. They are like they got into that pretty early, and I'm like, oh no.
Like that's a waste of your childhood.
Yeah, exactly. I was a kid way longer than other people, I think. But I'm so happy about that now in later years because you will definitely have that time
Yeah.
when you grow up
You
to
really
drink
enjoyed
and
it.
like
Yeah.
do makeup and talk about boys and all that stuff. Like you become a teenager soon enough. So like at 12, I was just very childish, but
Yeah.
it was
But
amazing.
it's fine, yeah.
And I had such a good time.
So it's a funny question because it's Emma Gannon's next book that's coming out next week, which is called The Multi-Hyphen Method, Work Less, Create More, and Create a Career That Works For You, I think.
That's a very long title. I think it's a book about like, being
Having different things that you do, like a side hustle and working at the same time, and the new rules of working today. It's a bit, I think she said it's inspired by the portfolio career, which was a term in the 80s of people doing different things.
Yeah.
But it's funny because we met her yesterday.
We actually
so
had like
nice.
we had a proper conversation with her. We were a bit like fangirling.
We're so
because-
giddy up.
Yeah. We went to this event with she was in the panel and
Yeah.
an event about like writing, which I do and you're interested in. That's
Yeah.
type of like works, you're freelance working basically. And we went to this event where she was in the panel, and before the panel it was like, you had a cocktail and you went around talking, and we were just like, we need to talk to her, we need to like go over.
She's so
She was
lovely.
so lovely, yeah. Absolutely such a clever woman.
Yeah, and I can't read it now because it's out next
Yeah,
week, but it'll probably be out once the video is
Yeah, so that's good. Then you can start reading it. I want to read it myself, and I just recently started listening to her podcast.
Control Alt Delete.
Yeah, and I've only listened to one episode so far, which is the Suella episode, because as you know, I love Suella. So that was a really good episode, but I'm looking forward to listening to more of her new ones,
Yeah.
because the ones she has...
They're very current because she has
Yeah.
one every week.
Yeah, and the ones that I listened to, the one I listened to was like the second one, so it wasn't that good like when it came to like sound quality, but I think it will be even better now.
Yeah, she's so good.
She literally has like 200 episodes out
Yeah.
or something, so it's a lot of episodes.
So what's your book that you want to read?
My book is To Kill a Mockingbird or
Oh
The
yeah,
Handmaid's
that's a
Tale,
classic.
because honestly both of them...
I love Margaret Atwood. Have you read any other book from her?
No, that's the thing, I really want to...
I read Alia's Grace for school, and it's
really?
so good. Like, I'm so happy that we had a good
Yeah.
school book to read.
I actually never heard about her before the HBO series came
Yeah.
out, and then my friend lent me the book last summer, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna read it, and then like I still haven't. So I'm gonna do it now because now the second season of The Handmaid's Tale is out.
True, I really want to watch that.
Yeah,
also.
oh my god, it's so good. I watched
Really?
nearly all of the first season, then I actually stopped because I wanted to read the book.
Yeah, that always
Now-
happens.
So now I definitely need to get on it and read the book. And also I want to read To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yeah, that's a classic. I haven't read it, but I
It's also one of the books that like all my life I've been thinking I need to read this book, I really want to, and especially now I'm thinking about like so much, well, you're more like aware of racial issues and stuff.
Yeah.
So I definitely feel like it's kind of one of those like classic books that you have to read before you can like make up your mind about stuff.
That's true. So our last question is a book we would recommend to each other.
To each other and basically to everyone else.
Yeah.
And you can
Okay,
recommend
so
one
the
to me.
book is Eleanor, Oliphant is Completely Fine by Gail Honeyman. I think that
Yeah.
Gail Honeyman, is that her
I've
name?
heard of that, yeah.
It's so good. It's like a novel of this girl who's, I think she has a mental illness of some kind. I can't remember because I read it like a year ago, and she lives in Scotland, I believe. And it's so good. Like the way she interacts with people, she thinks she's not worthy of love, but it's so good. I
Aw.
feel like you would really appreciate it.
I actually have a funny story with this book because I was in Waterstones like a month ago, and I was just browsing for books. I wasn't really gonna buy anything. I was just inside looking at
Like
books.
we do.
Yeah, like you do, and then you end up with like buying a whole bag
Yeah,
of books.
exactly.
Yeah, and I was actually looking at one book that I'm reading right now. That is not that good, sorry. But yeah, I looked at the cover and it was just a beautiful cover, and I was like, okay, I really want this book. And then the guy in the bookshop, he was an American, like really like heavy accent, which I didn't recognize until after. Like I'm so bad at accents. And he came over to me and I was like, oh, I think you'll really like this book. And then he came with an elephant book.
Yeah, that's
And-
so good.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not really out after buying something, and he was like, well, this is such a good book, I feel like you're really gonna like it if you look at these books, if you're gonna love this book. And I was like, oh, yeah, maybe. Like, and I took it and I was walking around with it, and then when I came to the till, I was like, oh, thank you, but I don't think I want this book, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And then he was like, you need it. I'll give
Yeah,
you 50%.
you have to read
Yeah,
it.
he was like, I'll give you 50% off. And I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
oh my god, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So now I have it. And now
You have it.
everyone is like forcing it on me. It's like, I
You
guess
have
I
to read it.
Yeah.
I read it and like I didn't have any expectations, but it's so good.
Because the thing is, I think why I didn't like want to read it, because when I read on the back, I felt like the description of what it was about.
Yeah, it's not the right description for the
Yeah,
book.
it reminded me so much of the, I don't know how to say her name, Jojo Moyes.
Oh yeah, Jojo Moyes.
Jojo Moyes, yeah. It reminded me so much of her books, and those aren't that good. Like, I didn't like them that much. Well, like, it's a nice read, but it was like too like fluffy. The first one was good. The second one was like, what is this about? And now apparently there's a third book, and I'm like, no, I don't want to read that. So, but now apparently this book is better. So
Yeah, you have to read
I'll
it.
definitely do it.
Great. What's your recommendation for me?
My recommendation for you is actually kind of a weird book, and I'm not recommending it because I necessarily think it's like one you'll enjoy that much, because I know you kind of like other types of book.
Yeah.
But it's the one I'm reading right now, and it's the kind of book that I feel like everyone absolutely needs to read. And it's called Why I No Longer Talk to White People About
Oh, I
Race.
heard about it. Emma Gannon actually interviewed the author, and it was so interesting.
I need to listen to that episode.
Yeah.
Is it on the podcast?
I think so, yeah. So.
And it's absolutely like such a great book, and I feel like this book, especially since you're moving to London
Yeah.
in a year, like I think it's a book that everyone needs to read, especially like Europeans, because we don't really know that much about like, you know, the slave
Have to
trade
talk
and
about it,
like
yeah.
black people, what they struggle with here in Europe, because we all think like, oh, it's all okay, it's in America they have problems, you know, it's in the United States they have problems, and they are racist, and we're not, but definitely like there is so much.
I've heard so much about that book, like it's really one to read.
So that's the one I would recommend for you, even though
Thank you.
it might be a bit tough to get through because there's a lot of like statistics and also really horrible stories, but it's definitely something that everyone needs to read. And that was our questions. I feel like we went through them so quickly. We're probably a bit nervous because like
we're not used to making
videos.
But it was the perfect timing.
Yeah. Especially if she moves to London, if I stay here and everything goes like we're planning, then we can, you know, do it again.
More and like hang out more often.
And get more used to it.
Yeah,
So
thank you for watching.
Thank you so much for watching, and thank you for coming to my channel. And that's all.
Yay.
Bye.